make impact over making money, and money is the byproduct of that. So when you're making impact, you'll definitely make money.
It's time to pivot in your confidence, career, and compensation with the 5-Minute Career Hack Podcast every Monday and Thursday. Now, get ready for a special interview curated just for you. Welcome to the 5-Minute Career Hack Podcast, and today we are diving into a crucial topic, making money and impact simultaneously. Join me today as I sit down with Remy Jules, a passionate advocate and expert in affordable housing services. We're going to explore how he's making a difference in the real estate industry while driving positive change in the community. But before we dive in, as I always say, make sure you hit that subscribe button, share this out with your friends. At 5-Minute Career Hack, we release 2 videos per week to help you pivot in your career, your confidence, and your compensation. So let's hop right in. Remy Jules is a dedicated advocate for affordable housing services and a prominent figure in the real estate industry. And he's based in the vibrant city of Austin, Texas. With a deep-rooted understanding of the challenges faced by individuals and families that are seeking affordable housing, Remy has become a leading voice for housing equity in Central Texas. As a socially conscious real estate investor, he is committed to creating and maintaining affordable housing options, leveraging his expertise to navigate government programs and policies for the benefit of marginalized communities. Remy's unwavering dedication to housing advocacy has earned him recognition and praise from various organizations and government entities, inspiring positive change and fostering a more inclusive society. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you, Remy, today. Welcome to the 5-Minute Career Hack Podcast.
Hey, excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. So grateful to be here.
Yes.
Shout out to the 5-Minute Career Hack team. Let's go.
Yes. Awesome. So that was I like to use the word fruitful, a very fruitful intro. But I always like to say, I know you just didn't arrive on a 5-minute podcast like you did today. So tell me more about you and your career journey, maybe something I didn't mention in your intro that will help serve the community.
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm still fairly new to this journey. I've actually been in the game for the last 3 to 4 years. I'm a new investor. And when I say new investor, I mean from the creative aspect. I, like you mentioned, hail from the city of Austin, Texas. But I was, I'm in a situation, my why is a little bit different. A lot of people just kind of wanted to do it just to make some money. When a lot of people get into real estate, me, I wanted to leave a legacy. You always hear, I don't know if people heard that term where, live for your last name, not just for your first, right? And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to live for my last name. But being from Austin, born and raised here in the city, unfortunately, there's not a lot of people of color that actually have born and raised here that are still here because obviously we've been driven out, right? So how can I invest into real estate, but still also make an impact at the same time? And that's literally how I got started. And it just led me down this road.
Awesome. So tell us more about your organization and the communities that you serve.
Absolutely. So the name of the organization is ELEC Housing Solutions, which is the DBA of ELEC Solutions Consulting. So ELEC Housing Solutions, basically, we are a third-party housing provider and also a second chance housing program. So we basically do not discriminate against any underserved or underprivileged demographic group. So basically what that means is, just to kind of put it in practical terms, we serve our veterans, we serve seniors, we serve single mothers, we serve those with challenging backgrounds. So that's like former felons. And we also serve like mental health and behavioral health. There's just such a great need, unfortunately. And so because there's such a great need, it's how can I make an impact, but also make income? And a lot of the times there's a situation where you have to kind of compromise either or, right? And the reason why I say that is, you hear about, oh man, especially when it comes to gentrification, or you're trying to invest in a specific area, you're worried about affordability. Mm-hmm. You're worried about, people's property value raising so high that they can no longer operate in that neighborhood. What if we can take these properties, serve the needs of the community, but still do it at an affordable rate? right? Do it in contract, in partnership with city organizations, with city municipalities, with the state. And that's what I'm here to discuss today.
Yeah, awesome. No, I love your work, and definitely I am just impressed with the way you talk about making impact and income at the same time,
Yeah.
right? Because we don't want to have the trade off one for the other. At the end of the day, this is a professional podcast. This is a career business podcast. We're in the
Yep.
business of building generational wealth, and then also making money and income for our families, growing our business so we can have quality of life. And I think you do such a great job
That
of that
part.
on both sides. One of the things that intrigued me that you talked about when we were discussing in our discovery call and all that was one of the key pieces of what you do in your business was around building relationships. So in order for you
Yes.
to be able to make income and impact simultaneously, you have to actually desire to want to build relationships, right? And what we know from a career statistic standpoint, career and business, over 85% of opportunities that happen out here are from relationships that are built within your personal and professional network.
Yes.
So I want you to
100%.
talk a little bit about that, about how you leverage networking and building relationships to navigate the real estate industry, and then in turn create opportunities for yourself and others in the affordable housing sector.
Absolutely. So you see this B right here? A lot of people are going to assume that it stands for Boston, but it really stands for being the bridge. And that's really what it's about. It's about us being a bridge, right? And so I'll give you an example. So I was in a situation as a new investor, no money, not the best credit, but I love people. So I started getting involved into specific organizations that serve our community. So there's the local Chamber of Commerce, there's a Texas Economic Development Board. Specifically, when it comes to housing, I started finding organizations like ECHO, which stands for Indian Community Homeless Coalition
Yep.
Outreach. So there's programs like this specifically where you can come in letting them know, hey, I'm a present individual that's looking to say, hey, how can I offer my services?
Yeah.
And who can I get to know? Who are these individuals? And a lot of times what people don't know is when you're just in those rooms, they'll tell you what the issues are and how you can contribute to society, right? They'll tell you where the funding is going. So it's like they get these budgets, they get these grants, they get these contracts, or they'll create contracts, and they'll actually tell you where the funding is going. All you need to do is be present, be in the room. And guess what that does? That adds to your credentialing. So then, before you know it, when you're in these buildings, believe it or not, you're dealing with all types of city commissioners, city planners. I ran into my mayor multiple times, right? So you're seeing that, you're seeing where the needs are, and you're basically asking, how can I be an advocate? How can I be of help? How can I be of some support? Because, hey, I'm a real estate investor, right? And guess what? There's an opportunity right there just to be that bridge. There's an opportunity to build that relationship. And then before you know it, they're asking, hey, let's do coffee. Hey, let's set aside a time, get with my admin, and we can actually do coffee sometime and let's talk. That's literally how it happened for me.
Nice. I love that. And I appreciate your vulnerability in saying, hey, when I started, I didn't know a bunch. I didn't have a lot of resources. Credit was where it was. So if you could provide a couple of hacks that's for someone who may be interested in doing the type of work that you do, what couple of hacks would you give them to just get started? I love what you talked about in terms of building relationships. So go place yourself in the
Yes.
rooms. In terms of practical things that they can do where they just feel lost, what would be maybe just that one step that they can take to start getting
Sure.
involved with making an impact like you do?
Sure. The first practical thing that you can do, I'm gonna get. This is a game, y'all. This is a gym. It's big, but yet it's simple. Okay. So I want everybody to download this app. It's called Eventbrite. There's another app called Meetup. If you have a specific interest, find events or groups related to that interest.
Yep.
Find out what's going on in your city, find out what's going on in your community, find out what's going on around you, and meet up with those individuals in order for you to network. Your net worth is connected to your network. You never know who you're meeting. I'll give you a prime example. I'm gonna give you a prime example. I was doing graphic design just a little side hustle, just doing graphic design, websites, doing some flyers and some posters and stuff like that. Met a phenomenal woman. Her name is Miss Joy Simmons. Shout out to Miss Joy Simmons. Not even realizing that this woman was a city event promoter. She did events for the city, for that 40 and up market, right? So we talking about that grown and sexy field. She brought in a lot of those artists and stuff like that for the city, but not realizing that she was a Texas certified permitting and licensed individual, meaning as she actually helped small businesses get government contractors and get certified and licensed in order for them to do so. So because of my relationship with her and how I was able to deliver, she said, "Hey, Remy, have you ever thought about government contracting?" And I said, "Huh?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, you do so good with your graphics." She was like, "There's an opportunity for that." And I said, she kind of had me play with the idea. So I played with the idea, and sure enough, there's all types of state agencies, city agencies, and things of that nature that are looking for a third-party service that can provide website updating, or that can do graphics for their events or for their monthly events or weekly events and stuff like that. So you never know. But specifically staying on the topic with the housing, though, I asked her, I said, "Are there contracts for housing?" She said, "Absolutely." So it just opened up a door there. And so that's literally how I feel like I got started, but also at the same time, building your own rapport with the individuals that are in your network. You never know who those individuals might know. You
Yes.
never know who they may be connected to that could lead you to your destiny. So
Yeah.
that's a little hack right there.
Yes, that's actually a really big hat. You got B on your hat. That's a
Come
big hat
on.
right there.
That's a big
Yes,
hack.
no. I love that. And I love the simplicity of just download Eventbrite and find an event or an organization that's already doing what you're looking to do. And I wanted to double click that because sometimes when we have these great ideas or these things that we're passionate about, then we go and we try to figure out how to do it by ourselves
Yep.
or reinvent the wheel, try to create something. And there may already be something like that out there where you can go and get partnerships, mentorship, build connection with
That's
people
it.
who are in that lane, and then you all are uplifting community together. And I
Yes.
know too what that leads to, and this is kind of what I want to ask you about next, because
Sure.
we kind of went in on this when we were discussing a couple of weeks ago. So when we have these organizations that want to go and recreate the wheel and don't really understand what programs, what people exist in the community that are already doing this type of thing, then you go do it, and then it can lead to a little burnout because you feel like you're not getting anywhere,
Yeah.
right? And so along the vein of, you learn these things, and then now you want to pay it forward alongside another organization. You want to make sure that you're not experiencing challenges that you could have avoided. Talk about some strategies that you use to pay your learnings forward and overcome some of those challenges or burnout that you experience working in the nonprofit sector or in the government contracting sector.
Listen. Look, this journey ain't for the weak. Okay. So I'm gonna say this, and I want to go back to something that you said. There's power in partnerships.
Yes.
Like there is like a huge piece in collaboration, right? And so you'd be surprised if you feel like God is giving you a vision or giving you a desire to do something. I'm pretty sure there's other people that are like-minded just like you. And so they may have a resource you need, you may have a resource they need, right? And so what I started doing was I started being solutions based. I started intent. So my strategy is being relational. I'm not a transactional person. I like to build relationships with people. I like to understand exactly what they're going through to see how my services can be of need to them, right? Then that turns the opportunity for me to say, "Hey, listen, you remember that favor I did for you? Okay, listen, I need a favor," right? And a lot of the times they're happy to do it because I didn't come in immediately with my hand out,
Yeah.
right? So when you're literally coming to somebody, you're talking to them, and I'll give you an example. I'm gonna give you an example. Just recently, I was fortunate enough to get a contract for the county of Detroit, for the Detroit, Michigan metro area, providing housing services. And because of that, when they asked me where the need was, I'm asking where the need is. How can I serve? I have a housing organization. How can I serve the need? They said right now, specifically, Remy, our needs are families.
Mm,
I normally don't cater to families only because of I'm more based on community living, shared living, right? So we like to house individuals because of affordability. Well, that doesn't mean that families don't need assistance. They do. Well, I found a young man that was willing to partner with me. He had a large portfolio. He wanted to get into the space, and he just happened to be in the Michigan area. He happened to be in the Detroit area, had over 30 units. Well, that allowed me to develop a partnership with him. And then guess what? Now my context is his context. So when you have different families, that the fact that I have a contract with Wayne County and that he's looking to see how he can provide housing on a city community level, boom, those contacts are his contacts. So now they're contacting him and seeing how they can get placed in his units.
yes.
So you know what I'm saying? And guess what? I don't own none of those properties, right? It's all his portfolio. I get a percentage, but we're still in partnership. So not only does that make me look good, but that allows steady income for him because a lot of these families are on some type of subsidy income. They're on a income that allows guaranteed funding in. So that way it helps, pay off his debts, but also puts me in a position for other agencies and services that I can support. So it's really just being a solutions based person. It's really about being a support to those in need. You'd be surprised how many people are out here building and doing construction and doing development, and they're just looking for somebody that can be, that have the connections, and how can I basically put myself in a position. You just never know. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I always try to do.
Yeah, no, that is a brilliant story. And I love that you shared that. And I thought about, sometimes we think impact just has to be in our backyard. But you're
Right.
talking about, okay, I'm open to expanding my network across boundaries to other cities and states that may can use my services, right?
That
And I
part.
think
Yep.
and you're from Austin, so I'm sure you have a core passion for uplifting the city of Austin. But
Of
now
course.
understanding I can pay these gifts forward somewhere else and make that impact and that income at the same time, right? By
100%.
expanding my network.
100%.
So I think that was a excellent story that you shared. And then when I think about, um, just your specific work, because I told you when we started this that this is a lane or an area that I am learning more about, especially the shared living communities. And I found a statistics that said shared living communities, also known as co-living spaces, have seen a significant rise in popularity with a 138% increase in
Yep.
co-living buildings globally since 2018. So tell me a little bit about your reaction to that statistic, and as you think forward 3, 5 years down the line, what does Remy envision that impact look like as that hopefully that that number continues to grow where we have opportunities to serve that way? But what does impact look like for you in the next 3 to 5 years?
Man. Uh, Basically being able to have well, let me say it like this. It's getting to the point to where it's becoming the norm due to affordability, right? You're seeing, unfortunately, there's a lot of, places, a lot of areas that experiencing a lot of growth, right? A lot of cities that are experiencing a lot of growth. And so that creates an affordability problem. So what's happening is you have, families that are moving 30, 40, minutes out of the city and stuff like that. Well, for those that actually want to stay closer to the city, that allows us to look into specific policies, regulations in order to make sure that we can do this. Texas just recently passed a law not too long ago where they have specific redlining and zoning, SF23s, which basically means there's an opportunity where if you have a nice sized lot, what was initially meant for a single family home, now you can add an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit, or now you can add two accessory dwelling units. So now if it's almost looking like, you're putting a triplex on one lot. just because of how expensive it is, right? So these are all types of strategies that are happening. But my goal, what I see in 3 to 5 years, is this actually becoming the norm, because what's happening is, even in certain, let's look at certain demographics like seniors. You're seeing a lot of seniors that can't afford to be in the nursing homes, assisted living facilities, or anything like that. Well, guess what's happening? Now there's an opportunity for people such as myself that may own real estate, that may own property, and we can actually house these seniors unlicensed, because guess what? We're not providing the services. We're just saying, hey, here's a room you can rent, and it doesn't take away from your affordability. You can still live, right? We're not nickel and diming you. And guess what? You can still afford care for yourself. So if you have family members that are contributing to their livelihood and to their care, now it's affordable. I have a really good partner friend of mine. She's in the San Antonio, Texas area. This woman literally took two individuals that were paying $20,000 a piece to live in a nursing home. Now they're paying only $5,000 per room in one of her properties, right? So she's making 10 grand a month. But guess what? That additional $10,000 that the family was paying and contributing to their livelihood is now going to supportive services, going to medication management. I mean, the possibilities are endless of how people can tap into this thing, right? And guess what? She does not provide any care. She just owns the property, right? And so she just works with the families on letting them know, hey, here's a key to the house, or here's the code to the home, so where that nurse or that provider that's going to come in and provide those caretaking services can be there at their convenience.
Love it. Love it. Again, you just continue to share stories of
I got to. It's the only way.
impact. I mean, and it's so necessary for folks to hear. And I want to circle back to something you said earlier, because you didn't start this by saying like, oh, I've always been passionate about housing. And so this is how I got here, right?
Right.
I was the graphic design, and I got connected with people. Then this led to this led to this. And I think just you displaying and talking about that type of openness for those who may listen to this and say, I don't know all the things Remy's talking about, but the passion is definitely drawing some people in.
That part.
But
Yeah.
I would imagine that it's making people, and I hope that it's making people think about, what gifts do I have right now that I could display in the right rooms where I can continue to learn and make that impact alongside someone who may have a different expertise than I do, like Remy
Yeah.
with housing. So
Can I connect the dots right there?
Absolutely,
Is that okay?
absolutely.
Okay, families. So for those that are watching, let me connect the dots a little bit. I don't want to throw nobody off. So people are like, how did you go from graphic design to housing? Okay. This how I got. Let me tell you how I got started. So because of Miss Joy Simmons, she introduced me to government contracting with graphic design. What happens is there's a lot of businesses that are looking for marketing materials, right? They're looking for marketing materials, and construction companies, real estate organizations or groups, brokers, real estate agents, right? So what's happening is that I would actually build relationship with these individuals, and then I would barter, and I say, hey, I can do these services for you if you're willing to teach me, if you're willing to direct me, help me understand the real estate game. Sure enough, because of my credentials, with government contracting, they say, hey, Mary, we could do it. We could do one better. Let's go ahead and partner, and you do all the marketing campaigns. And that's what led me into getting into it. And so I'm not gonna lie, like graphic design, the money is based off of project to project, and I didn't want anything like that. So the fact that I'm building relationships with these individuals, they were willing to take the time to barter, and then we was actually able to partner. And I mean more people that have Airbnbs. I mean more people that have midterm and short-term rentals. I'm like, how are you utilizing your midterm and short-term rentals? And then boom, hey, I connect to programs.
Yeah.
Programs. Okay, so PBHs, program-based housing, right? And that's how we got here, and it began to become a passion. So I was like, wow, okay, so I can literally make income by making an impact. Because now what I'm starting to realize in these processes is that when I was doing the graphic design for these individuals, I'm realizing, okay, program-based housing, a lot of these individuals, because of the affordability aspect, they'll end up in a shelter. So what can I do to make sure they don't end up in a shelter? Because a lot of these shelters are getting max to capacity. So there's an opportunity for me to help the homeless.
Yeah.
So I can actually get a property that I don't own. I can establish a rapport with the property owner that's looking for guaranteed money every month because I have a partnership with the case management from the shelter to say, hey, we'll give you a certain amount of money per head if you can help house these individuals. And boom, that's how it happened.
Love it. Love it. One statement came to mind while you were talking because I love the journey you share of this led to this, that led to this, and that's your gifts will make room for you.
That part.
You got to be confident in what you know now, right?
Yes.
Go and put that on display, and it opens up opportunities for you to sit at multiple different tables, which sounds like what you're doing. And now you're making income and impact simultaneously.
Yeah.
And then you touched on something that I don't think that we talk about enough in the business world. And I was actually having a discussion with somebody about it about 2 days ago. And that's, you said barter. Like, I have a service to offer, I have a gift to offer, you have a gift to offer. It doesn't always require that you're filthy rich to get started. Sometimes it's just a simple act.
There we go.
Bartering services so you can begin to make that impact and move your business and your purpose forward. So I appreciate that you shared that because I don't think we do enough of it, especially in our community. I think we can, owe more to putting that on display, that that's something that's done because God didn't put us here to do anything alone, right?
Yes. Come on.
Career hack. Gifts of others. And, sometimes, again, you don't have the income or the revenue to do it right away. You can explore that bartering piece. So thank you for making that.
No, it's true. I agree. Because a lot of the times, when you meet small other businesses, small minority other businesses, when you're doing government contracting, everybody's trying to get ahead, right? Everybody's trying to get that one big contract, that one big opportunity. And I'm saying, look, we are a room full of individuals that are all gifted, skilled, and talented. Let's take each other's number. I might not need you right now, but I can still utilize you down the line. Yeah. And so if there's an opportunity there, guess what? Now, here I have a great Rolodex of qualified individuals that can service a need. I'll give you a prime example.
Yep.
When I got my first house, I was housing, I got a story, so I got to tell you. It only correlates.
Right? This is perfect. So You're doing great.
I'm okay, good. So when I got my first house and I was actually housing students, I was having a little bit of trouble trying to find the demographic in order to serve. And so I noticed something. I said, okay, this property is maybe 10 walking minutes to the University of UTSA in San Antonio, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? A lot of these students were non-traditional students, which means they're either foreign exchange students, they're PhD students, they're master's degree students. They're all here on work visas, education visas, and so forth and so on. So it was a huge language barrier there, but it allowed me to help with the food aspect. So I knew a lady that had a culinary business, right? And so she was just telling me how things were slow for her. So what ended up happening was I put her in rotation. I said, hey, can I pay you X amount of dollars per month in order for you to deliver these meals? Yeah. Well, guess what? Because of that, because of me kind of keeping her in rotation, she's delivering these meals. She was actually able to solidify a contract with the school because they're asking, okay, who is this person? Well, they see my houses, right? So they come and inspect my houses and stuff, and I'm letting them know this is what I do. This is what I provide services for. And that's another thing too, y'all. If you're in the shared living space, don't minimize it just to one demographic. Homeless, okay, cool. Felons, okay, cool. But there's students that need housing. I never realized that too. So don't limit that. But the point that I'm making here is if there's somebody that you can connect with and build with, and you can be a support system to them as well, utilize that individual. And that person has now been able to make some money and start their own business. So they actually have their own brick and mortar, their own storefront, because they started with me by delivering meals, just to foreign exchange students. And just the feedback that was given and being able to, really say they've been in business for a period of time and making income. Now, guess what? Now they have the support of the community behind them to actually be able to start their own brick and mortar. So what I'm saying is, y'all, you never know how out of your obedience, even in fear sometimes, we do things out of hesitancy and insecurity, but what you don't know what that can lead to. So I just want you to operate in your authenticity, operate in what your passions are, you know what I mean, and pursue it, because I'm telling you, there's somebody that you can bless either along the way, or there's somebody that you're going to come into contact with along the way that you're going to be able to build a everlasting relationship with, and it helps put them in their position for their purpose as well.
That's amazing. And so this is not just about housing, right?
Right.
Remy is a power plug. You have heard him talk about multiple industries, multiple demographics in the community, multiple target markets. We have to be open to expanding our target market, expanding the type of person in the communities that we serve so that we can have a footprint and an impact across.
Yes.
Remy, your passion for this is so amazing. From the moment I met you, I know we started with building relationships. That was the first thing that I noticed about you, was that you were a relationship builder, and you really
Yes.
can't do this the way that you do without being passionate about that. So I'm so appreciative of you coming on today and sharing.
Oh, thank
I
you.
am 100% confident this is not the last that you all are going to hear of Remy Jules and the 5-minute career hack. Remy, before I hop into the last question, tell us where we can find you and how we can get involved with your work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Family, I am on LinkedIn. You can find me under Remy Jules. You can find me under Instagram under Remy Marcel _. You can find me on Facebook as Remy Jules. I'm not Hollywood. I'll, definitely accept you. You know what I mean? You don't have to go through this super deep filtering processes. And, feel free to let's build. You can actually email me directly at support@electhousingsolutions.org. And just feel free to check out my website at electhousingsolutions.org. So there's just an opportunity there to let you know a little bit about what I do, how I serve, and how basically I can better serve my community and your community.
Awesome. We're all in this together. Let's get ahead. You said everybody's trying to get ahead.
Yes. Come on.
Enough to go. There's enough to go around for everybody to have some, and then there'll be some left over. So we're all
Absolutely.
operate in abundance mindset, and I think you do so in such a beautiful way. So thank you, Remy. So here's the final question we ask all of our guests.
All right.
Share with the audience your final 5 words for today.
All right. Here we go. Make impact over making money. And money is the byproduct of that. So when you're making impact, you'll definitely make money.
Man.
That is the byproduct. Money is the byproduct. Yeah. Yes. Focus on making an impact over making, making money. Yes.
That's good. Money is, don't miss that, everyone. Money is the byproduct. Remember, there's enough to go around, and then there'll be some left over. Money is the byproduct of your impact. Remy, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Furthering our discussion in 5 words with Candace. It has been such a pleasure to have you, and I look forward to what's next. Stay tuned.
Let's go. Bye, everybody.
Take care.
I truly hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed doing it for you. However, it doesn't have to end there. Come on over to our Facebook group community right now for free. You're going to get exclusive content that we weren't able to include in this episode as well as past episodes. We've got challenges, we've got research, we've got lives, you name it, all for you in bite-sized chunks so that you can continue this development journey. Go ahead, click the link right now in the description show notes, and we'll see you there.